Okay, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Welcome back, everyone, to another session. We're now on page 17, lesson 11. Page 17, lesson 11. Just before we go on to that, just a quick recap. Last lesson, on page 16, we learnt Al-Fatha. And what did we say Al-Fatha is? If we look here, Al-Fatha is when you have this little line on the top. And this line will give it a sound. Right, a sound, right? And we said that we would take the beginning sound of the letter, the consonant, and then we'll add the a. So a, ba, ta, tha, ja, ha, kha. So pay attention to the difference between a and a. Some letters are heavy and they have an a sound. Kha, da, tha, ra, za, sa, sha, sa, ض ط ظ ع غ ف ق ك ل م ن ه و yeah, and then obviously we had practice and everything like that, right? That was the last lesson. As for today, we're going to be looking at something called Kasrah. Kasrah. Now, Kasrah is when we have a small line, very similar to Fatha, but it goes here underneath the letter. Underneath the letter. Remember Fatha, the line was on top. If the line is underneath, it adds an E sound. An E sound to the letter. Right? So Alif. And notice the Hamza. Remember what we said Hamza is? A Hamza is a A. The Hamza is a A sound. So notice the Hamza goes underneath here when we add the Kasrah, right? Just notice that. So E, so Ba will become B, Ta will become T, Tha will become Thi, Jim. So remember, we're just going to take the original sound, the beginning sound, the J sound, and then add the Kasrah. So Jim will become G. Jim will become G. Notice that the Kasrah is kind of inside there as well. Just pay attention to that. So we have G. Then Ha. We've got the Kasrah. Notice that it's in between the letter here. Yeah. He. Kha. We're going to add the Kasrah and we're going to say Khi. So we just get the initial sound out there. The Kh. And then add the vowel sign. Khi. Dal will become D. Dal. So we want the sound and add the Kasrah. The. Ra will become Ri. Zai, so we want the Z sound and then add the Kasrah. Z. Sin will become Si. Sheen will become She. Sad will become Si. So notice the sa is a so. It's heavy. The back of the tongue raises is a so. So we want that initial sound. Si. It's not C like a scene. It's a bit heavy in the up tongue at the back kind of raises. So. Si. Same with dad becomes a li. Ta becomes a ti. So we need to get that elasticy sound. Ta becomes ti. This was one of the most difficult letters for me to pronounce when I was starting. Ti. Because it's not a ta and it's not a dal. Right? So a lot of times my ti, it will sound like a dal for a long time. So we have to just practice getting the tongue and just saying ta. And keeping that initial sound, ta, 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 and then adding the kasrah, ti. Yeah. Dha, dha, dhi, dhi. So same thing as well. It's not the like a dal. There's a heaviness in the back of the back of the tongue kind of raises and dha, 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 oh. Dhi. I want you to keep that thickness and add the kasrah, dhi. Ain. You're gonna so you're gonna squeeze the larynx. Not obviously, I'm exaggerating for you to hear. And then once you get the muscles used to it, then you can lighten it and just say And pay attention. It's a and not e. It's not e like a hamza. It's not e. It's a. Ghain becomes a ri. So get the initial sound. Ri. Ri. Fa becomes a fi. Qaf becomes a qi. Pay attention. Qi. And I didn't say ki. So you need to get the sound. The qa. The back of the throat. Qa. And then add the kasrah. Qi. Qi. Kaf becomes a ki. Ki. Lam. Add the kasrah. You want that l sound. And then add the kasrah. Li. Mim becomes a mi. Mi. Noon. So you want a n. The beginning part of the letter. You want to pronounce and then add the vowel sound. Kasrah. Ni. Ni. Ha becomes he. He. Wow becomes a we. Ya becomes a ye. Ye. Okay, so now we're going to practice. I'm going to give you a few seconds to look at the word and then I will pronounce it afterwards. So let's go. Line 1. E. The. E. E. Ni. Ini. Ini. Next one. B. Ka. Bika. Bika. Then let's look at this shape. Can you remember what this shape is? Look very carefully. That's right, that's a lam with a ya. That's a lam with the ya. Just remember that top there, that top bit there, that point coming down onto a ya. So the kasrah is on the lam and the fatha is on the ya. So how would we pronounce that? Li ya. Liya. Liya. Bi. Ma. Bima. Bima. Let's pay attention. It's kasra on the ba. Bi. Fatha on the mim. Ma. Bima. Cool. He. Ya. Hiya. Hiya. Line 2. E. B. Li. Ibili. Ibili. را ضي يا رضي رضي نسي يا نسي نسي لا بي ثا لبث لبث ت بي ع تبع تبع لا قي يا لقي لقي line 3 س مي ع سمع سمع. Make sure you say a and not a. Be careful, don't make that into a hamza. Hamza being a. So be careful. Make sure you say a. Yeah, like not like you're strangling yourself, but you're there's a little tension in the larynx. Sami'a, sami'a. Next one. Ya Isa. Ya Isa. Ya Isa. Now remember that Hamza, sometimes it can be on an alif. You saw it here on an alif, right? However, sometimes it can be like this on a little nabira, on a little point, and you see that little head. Whenever you see this little head here, you know it's Hamza, right? And it's going to sit on some other letters, which we will see later on, right? For now, just know that little head, wherever you see it, it's going to be a Hamza. It's a Hamza. Sometimes on an alif, later on we'll see sometimes on a wow, sometimes on a ya. We're going to see different scenarios. But it's a Hamza. Ya Isa. Ya Isa. Next one. Ya Di Ya Yadiya Yadiya Fa Li Ma Falima Falima Sa Khi Ta Sakhita Sakhita Kha Si Ra Khasira Khasira Wa Ri Tha Waritha Waritha La Na fi da. La nafida. La nafida. Fa la bi tha. Falabitha. Falabitha. Wa a. Pay attention, that's the ain when it's at the beginning. That's how it looks, don't forget. Wa a li ma. Wa alima. Wa alima. What's this beginning letter? Remember, just look at the tip of it. Remember, alif does not join to a letter after it, so it can't be alif. What's that? That's lam. That's lam when it comes on top of a ha, right, in certain scenarios. And the fatha is on the lam, and the ha has a fatha on it. So what we're going to say? La, ha, bi, ta. La habita. La habita. Bi ya di ka. Biyadika. Biyadika. Okay, so that's kasrah. So basically, if we have a line underneath, we have an e sound. If we have that little line on the top, we have an a sound, right? The line on the top is called a fatha. Line on the bottom is called a kasrah, right? So all I want you to do, just record this page, send it in the group, inshallah, and then we will check for any mistakes, and we'll stop there, inshallah. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant.